Welcome guys, I am back with another video. Today we are going to be doing boy shorts panties. We need to add more to our lingerie collection, right? So I am going to show you how to draft and sew these shorts. But before I do that, make sure you click the subscribe button because in this channel we're going to be doing more lingerie and you don't want to miss out. I am going to mark a guideline from the top edge of the paper, and then from that line I'm going to leave a space of around 2 inches. So mark 2 inches down from that line. And the line that I just drew is going to serve as the waist line. On the side of the pattern paper, you want to leave 3 inches. From that point on that line, you want to mark half of your hip round measurement, subtract 1 inch, which is we're going to be using a stretch fabric. So we're going to be using a stretch fabric, so that's why you need to subtract 1 inch. Now from the side it's going to be the back and the other side is going to be the front. So on the waistline you need to measure your crotch depth. So I am going to take my crotch is 12, subtract 1 inch, and it's going to be 11 inches. Now once I'm done, under the crotch line add 1.5 inch. So now we need to add our crotch extension for the back. On the crotch line, for the back add 2 inches. And then go up another 2 inch and then connect the points. Go out by 1 inch and then connect the point to create a curve. And then for the front, you want to mark 1.5 inch and then go up by 1.5 inch. And then connect the 2 points with a curve. Now on the bottom we need to mark the midpoint of that line. And extend it all the way up to the waistline. We're going to start with the back by implementing our waist round measurement. On that line, that's where we're going to implement quarter of waist round measurement, subtract 1 inch. And I'm going to place it from that line and then connect it with the crotch. I'm going to use my curve ruler because you don't want it straight. You can make it straight, but I prefer it slant or shaped with a curve. Then extend it all the way on top. For the back, you want to extend it 1 inch so that it can cover the back side. So you want to add 1 inch. And then you want to connect it all the way to the front. But before we do that, we need to also implement our waist round measurement for the front pattern. And then you do the same thing as you did for the back. So from that 1 inch rise, connect it all the way to the front waistline. Now on that point, I am going to add 1 inch and this is going to serve for the band. Now from that point, I am going to go up by 1/2 inch. And then on the other side, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. And I'm also going to do the same thing for the back side, go in by 1/2 inch. And then just blend the lines to the crotch. Then I am going to connect the points, and it's going to curve just a little bit. So I'm going to use my pencil just to trace out the line before I use my marker. So once you're done drafting this pattern, don't forget to label it as boy shorts. So the next thing that we need is to add 1/2 inch seam allowance all around the pattern that I'm showing you, except the band. Don't add any seam allowance. So I did go ahead and add seam allowance, and I'm just going to notch the back side and also label the front. Now it's time for us to cut this pattern on fabric. As you can see, I'm using a stretch knit or stretch lace, and I'm going to fold it where the stretch goes, which is around the body. Trace out your pattern, then cut it out. Once I'm done cutting it out, I am going to go ahead and sew 1/2 inch seam around the crotch. And I'm going to be using a straight stitch. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and sew a zigzag stitch on the raw edges. And this is how it looks on the inside. You want to go ahead and do the same thing onto the other side. And this is how it will look. The next thing we need is to connect the crotch. So I am going to go ahead and sew a straight stitch, then a zigzag stitch. And this is how it looks once we're done sewing the crotch and also the side. Now I want to go ahead and add a cotton fabric for the crotch. So I am going to mark 1 inch, which is going to be the width of the cotton fabric that I'll be using, or the lining. So I'm going to add 1 inch, and the length is going to be 6 inches. And this is going to serve as lining for my panty or underwear. So once I've cut out this piece, I'm going to just open up my crotch and place it on the center, and then go ahead and sew a zigzag around the lining. So I've done that, as you can see. So the next thing that's left for us is to hem the leg opening. So I have sewn the leg opening by using a zigzag stitch. Now the next thing that is left is to attach the elastic. I am going to cut the elastic, and I don't have to cut it shorter. It's going to be exactly as the waist measurement. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew a zigzag stitch. Once I am done, I am going to connect the elastic onto the waist. Now you want to go ahead to your sewing machine and sew a zigzag stitch right on the edge. So this is how it will look on the inside. Now you want to flip the elastic and then sew a top zigzag stitch. And guys, we are done. This is how it looks on the inside. And if you've reached this part, congratulations, because you've got the boys shot to yourself. And please, if you like this tutorial, don't forget to thumbs up. See you on the next one. Bye.